We are not going to sit by and wait. In the past, we used to hope that good friendships will come to our rescue. That is not my stance, and I have not run this government in that way. We must be prepared for shocks.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Dash Lifestyle. Kindly for watching me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share, and also comment. So guys, recently we saw United States President Donald Trump. He came out and issued a new trade tariff to the Caribbean. He came out and announced that Caribbean is giving a new tariff to the Caribbean countries, and the tariff that it is giving to Caribbean country, it is 10%, of which this 10% will affect majority of the prices in the Caribbean. There is going to be a high price, the commodities in the Caribbean, there is going to be a high price, and because of that it will affect so many people in the Caribbean. In today's video, I want us to watch the Prime Minister of Barbados, she has come out and sent a message to all Caribbean country, and also we'll see what the Jamaican Prime Minister, Mr. Andrew Holness, he had to say about this new tariff which the United States gave out to the Caribbean countries. So kindly guys, watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comments.
Good day. I speak to all our Caribbean brothers and sisters today, not as the Prime Minister of Barbados, but in my capacity as Chair of the Caribbean community. Our world is in crisis. I will not sugarcoat it. These are among the most challenging of times for our region since the majority of our members gained their independence. Indeed, it is the most difficult period our world has faced since the end of World War II, 80 years ago. Our planet faces a climate catastrophe that worsens every year. We have a cost of living crisis that has been bedeviling us since the disruption of supply chains when the COVID-19 pandemic triggered the shutdown of the majority of countries. Misinformation, disinformation, and manipulation are running rampant. The mental health crisis is causing hopelessness among many of our young people. And regrettably, crime and fear is on the rise. We're fighting wars in the Holy Land, in Europe, and in Africa. Countries are distrustful of countries, and neighbors are distrustful of neighbors. The international order and the international system, my friends, is in grave danger of collapse. And now we are on the precipice of a global trade war. Our Caribbean economies are largely reliant on imports. Just go to the supermarket or visit the mall or the hardware shop or the electronics store, and you will see that most of the things there are not produced in this region. Many of those commodities are either purchased directly from the United States of America or pass through the United States of America on their way to the Caribbean region. That, my friends, is a legacy of our colonial dependence. Together with colleague heads of state and heads of government, we have been working to diversify ourselves away from this dependence. We've already started to reap some successes, especially in the field of agriculture, for example, but we still have a long way to go. As we do this work, we have to be mindful that those recent announcements that have been made in the last few days will impact us very directly as a region and as a Caribbean people. We are working and will continue to work to become more self-sufficient. But I want every Caribbean man and every Caribbean woman to hear me. This trade war and the possibility of a $1 million to $1.5 million levy on all Chinese-made ships entering U.S. harbors will mean higher prices for all of us at the corner shop, higher prices at the supermarket, higher prices at the electronics store, higher prices for us at the shop, higher prices for us at the restaurant, higher prices for us at the car dealership and beyond. A lot of Caribbean people will think that these things that you are seeing on television news or reading about are far away and they don't impact on me. A lot of people think I'm just a farmer, or I'm just a school teacher, or I'm just a mechanic. They say, I live in St. Lucie in Barbados, or I live in Portmore in Jamaica, or Kingstown in St. Vincent, or Rima in Trinidad, or Basse-Terre in St. Kitts, or San Ignacio in Belize. These problems are far away from me and they don't impact me. That is what you will hear them say. But the reality, my friends, is that if you buy food, if you buy electronics, if you buy clothes, it will impact you. It will impact each of us. My brothers and sisters, our Caribbean economies are not very large. So we are and have always been at the whims of global prices. If Europe and China and the US and Canada and Mexico are all putting tariffs on each other, that is going to disrupt supply chains. That is going to raise the cost of producing everything from the food you eat, to the clothes on your back, to the phone in your pocket, to the car you drive down the road, to the spare parts that you need for critical infrastructure. That means higher prices for all of us to pay. And sadly, yes, this will impact all of you, regardless of what any of our Caribbean governments will do. We could lower our tariffs to zero in CARICOM, and it will not make a lick of difference because our economies are small and vulnerable. This crisis, my friends, will impact not only goods, but it may also have a large spillover effect on tourism. We suggest that the region take steps to sustain the tourism industry, as likely worsening conditions in many of our source markets will have negative impacts on people's ability to travel. We call on our regional private sector and the tourism sector to come together and to work with governments to collaborate for an immediate tourism strategy to ensure that we maintain market share numbers as a region. My friends, I pray that I am wrong, and I'm praying that cooler heads prevail across the world and leaders come together in a new sense of cooperation to look after the poor and the vulnerable people of this world, and to leave space for the middle classes to chart their lives, to allow businesses to be able to get on with what they do and to trade. But truly, I do not have confidence that this will happen. So what must we do? First, we must re-engage urgently, directly, and at the highest possible level with our friends in the United States of America. There is an obvious truth which has to be confronted by both sides. That truth is that these small and micro states of the Caribbean do not in any way or in any sector enjoy a greater degree of financial benefit in the balance of trade than does the United States. In fact, it is because of our small size, our great vulnerability, our limited manufacturing capacity, our inability to distort trade in any way, that successive United States administrations, including and most recently the Reagan administration in the early 1980s, went to great lengths to assist us in promoting our abilities to sell in the United States under the Caribbean Basin Initiative. We will see how these tariffs will impact on that. That spirit of cooperation largely enabled security, social stability, and economic growth on America's third border in the Caribbean, or as we have agreed as recently in our meeting with Secretary of State Rubio, what is now our collective neighborhood. Secondly, we must not fight among each other for political gain. Because, my dear brothers and sisters, as the old adage goes, united we stand and divided we fall. Thirdly, we must redouble our efforts to invest in Caribbean agricultural production and light manufacturing. The 25 by 2025 initiative, ably led by President Ali, seems too modest a target now, given all that we are confronting. We must grow our own and produce our own as much as possible. We can all make the decision to buy healthy foods at the market instead of processed foods at the supermarket. Fourthly, we must build our ties with Africa, Central and Latin America, and renew those ties with some of our older partners around the world, in the United Kingdom and Europe, in Canada. We must not rely solely on one or two markets. We need to be able to sell our Caribbean goods to a wider, more stable global market. My brothers and sisters, in every global political and economic crisis, there is always an opportunity. If we come together, put any divisions aside, support our small businesses and small producers, we will come out of this stronger. To our hoteliers, our supermarkets, and our people, my message is the same. Buy local and buy regional. I repeat, buy local and buy regional. The products are better, fresher, and more competitive in many instances. If we work together and strengthen our own, we can ride through this crisis. We may have to confront issues of logistics and movement of goods, but we can do that too. To the United States, I say, this simply: we are not your enemy. We are your friends. So many people in the Caribbean region have brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, sons and daughters, godchildren, living up in Miami or Queens or Brooklyn or New Jersey, Connecticut, Virginia, wherever. We welcome your people to our shores and give them the holidays, and for many of them, the experiences of a lifetime. I say simply to President Trump, our economies are not doing your economy any harm in any way. They are too small to have any negative or distorting impact on your country. So I ask you to consider your decades-long friendship between your country and ours, and look to the Caribbean, recognizing that the family ties, yes, are strong. Let us talk, I hope, and let us work together to keep prices down for all of our people. My brothers and sisters, there's trouble in our Caribbean waters, but the responsibility each and every day for much of what we do and much of what we grow must be ours. If we take care of each other, if we support each other, if we uplift each other, and if we tap into the strength and innovation of our common Caribbean spirit, we will see this through. Our forefathers faced tribulations far worse than we will ever do. And yes, they came through it. My friends, my brothers and sisters, we can make it. We shall make it. God bless our Caribbean civilization. Thank you.
While the government of Jamaica has not yet received formal notification on the precise implementation procedures, including whether these new tariffs will override existing CBI provisions, we are actively engaging with the United States Trade Representative and other relevant authorities to seek urgent clarification. We are also conducting a detailed technical assessment in collaboration with relevant ministries and agencies to fully understand the scope of these tariffs and their implications for Jamaica's trade and industrial policy. It is important to emphasize that these developments do not reflect any erosion in the long-standing and strong bilateral relationship between Jamaica and the United States. Rather, it reflects a broader recalibration of U.S. trade policy that is global in scope. Still, we will use every available diplomatic channel, including working with our CARICOM brothers and sisters and utilizing the Office of Trade Negotiations to seek to preserve the positions our exporters have secured over decades of deepening trade ties with the United States. Preliminary analysis indicates that some of our top exports may fall under exempted product categories, and we are working to confirm and, where possible, to expand these exemptions. Again, I must emphasize that clarity is still needed on several matters. Furthermore, there may also be opportunities to be found, and we must therefore be proactive and prospective. So to our manufacturers and exporters, we understand the uncertainty this announcement has created, and we are with you every step of the way. You are not only integral to our economic strategy, you are national champions of our resilience and ingenuity. The government will continue to advocate on your behalf and ensure that your interests are protected in any new global trade architecture. I will wrap those statements in my own comments. Jamaica has pursued a very strategic foreign policy in the same way we have pursued very strategic economic policies. If it is one thing that you can be certain of for a small, open economy like Jamaica, is that we will have shocks, exogenous shocks, things that happen outside of and beyond our control. In the past, we used to say it is other people's fault. In the past, we used to hope that good friendships will come to our rescue. In the past, there are those who believe the world owed us something. That is not my stance, and I have not run this government in that way. We must be prepared for shocks, and we must be resilient. We must be able to absorb the hit and recover. And we must put ourselves in a position to always be welcomed at the table to negotiate. And where we have our truths and strong positions, we must speak them clearly, without fear to authority and powers. And we do it without bombast, hysterics, and hyperbole. And we get the job done. As we have for the last 9 years at the helm of this country, carrying Jamaica through the worst pandemic, the worst global shocks as a result of the pandemic, through a hurricane followed by a tropical storm, all kinds of shocks. And what used to take us 30 years and 17 years to recover, we recover momentarily. So for those who take this for granted and would wish to diminish it and believe that there is something else, let me urge you to think carefully. This is a new world, an uncertain world, but Jamaica stands on its 2 feet, erect and proud. We will secure our economic independence. And I want every Jamaican to appreciate that. So yes, it is uncertain time. But we have done the necessary work. We have built the relationships. We have placed ourselves in strategic positions to be heard and to be heard from and to be consulted. When these changes are going to happen, we know that they could have long-term impact. We started planning long ago. So when you don't hear me say and run out and make statement, because you have a government that is thinking very carefully, very strategically. I play chess, not draft.
So Trump just put a 10% tariff on all exports from Jamaica. So that means that all the items that's sold in the USA from Jamaica, like coffee, castor oil, etc., them are going to raise by 10%. And Trump that understands that the American people, them are going to pay the extra increase on the items, not the country them want to put the tariff on. It's so crazy. And it look like him have be a yes man around him. Everything he said, they say yes. So them afraid to tell him, say, another country I go pay for the extra tax we I go upon it. Are the American people them, but at that you vote for still. You soon can't buy nothing over there. But let me tap that before they send before they go extradite me and carry me to El Salvador. This is crazy.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video from the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley. Mia Mottley, she has come out and highlight how this trading new tariff which United States has announced, how it is going to affect the people in the Caribbean countries, because she's sending a message to all people in the Caribbean countries telling them that to be ready, because the high cost of living, there is going to be a high rise of the commodities. The commodities, it is going to, the price of the commodities, it is going to rise, and also the life, it is going to change, because the United States, they have introduced 10% new trading tariff, of which it is going to affect all people in the Caribbean. And also, I want us to highlight some of the things that our Prime Minister from Barbados, Mia Muntili, she has come out and say about to the Caribbean people. She has come out and sent a message to all Caribbean countries, telling them that it is now the right time for Caribbean to be independent, for Caribbean countries to be independent, because for so many years, the Caribbean countries, they have been depending in this Western market. They have been trading in the Western market. They have been depending so much to the Western market, to a point whereby right now they have started to feel how it is when this Western market, they are changing their tariff, how it is going to affect them. So because of this, if a new effect that the Caribbean people, they are going to face it has made the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Muntili, to come out and send a message to all Caribbean countries, telling them that we need to be independent. We need to do trading to our neighboring countries. We don't need to depend to this Western country, because right now they are going to suffer because of depending so much to trade with this Western country. And you can see what it is happening in the Western countries. These people, they want to secure their country. They want to make sure that their people, they are living well before helping each other, because Donald Trump, when he came to power, he said that he's going to make America great again. He wants to safeguard the lives of the Americans. So he's doing anything possible to make sure that the people of America, they are not suffering. The life in America, it has changed. So because of that, we are seeing also it is affecting these Caribbean countries, to whereby these people that have been depending so much in this market, but coming out and introducing this new tariff, it is telling them that we need to start opening our mind. We need to also open our market to start trading with our neighbor country. We don't need to trade with these Western countries, because this Western country right now, they have taken them for granted. And also, Mia Muntili, she has come out and say also the things that it is going with this new trading tariff that Donald Trump has come out and issued to Caribbean countries. It is going to make more life of the Caribbean people to be difficult, because the life, it is going to change in the Caribbean. Whereby these people they are going to experience the high price of the commodities. The food, it is going to rise. Yeah, the basic need also, the prices, it is going to rise. So this is to prepare them and telling them that right now United States, it has made a huge change in the new trading tariff, and the things life, it is not going to be the same way as how it is, and this will affect all people. It is not going to affect a few people in the Caribbean. No, it is going to affect all people in the Caribbean country. So Mia Muntili, she's sending a warning message, telling them to prepare, because United States, it has changed. It has made some of the changes, of which it will affect all people in the Caribbean country. And also, she's coming out and say also there's going to be an effect in the tourism, because if the price of the commodities, it is rising, also the tourism also the tourism prices also, it is going to rise, because the Caribbean countries, they can start to see a few tourists coming to their countries, because it is going to be expensive. Yeah, it is going to be expensive, because things cannot rise. The commodities, they cannot rise, and the tourist sector can remain the same. No. And we all know that the Caribbean country, they depend so much in the tourism. So also the sector of the tourism, it is going to be affected. To those people who are coming to visit Jamaica or to visit any countries in the Caribbean, the price that they have been going to Caribbean countries, the places that they have been going to visit, the tourist area, also they are going to rise some of the prices. So this is tell you that also they need to prepare, because also the tourism sector, it is going to be affected. So these are some of the things that Mia Muntili, she has come out and highlighted. And for me, she has come out and said it is now the right time for the Caribbean countries, Caribbean leaders, to come together to speak one language, because some other countries in the Caribbean, they don't want to unite. Yeah, some other countries, the leaders, they don't want to unite, and because of they are not speaking one language, now you can see these Western countries, it is taking them for granted, because they know that the Caribbean countries, they are not united. But when these people, they are uniting, when these people, they are supporting each other, when these people, they are trading amongst themselves, this Caribbean country will be not depending so much to the Western market. And our Caribbean Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, she's calling all Caribbean leaders to unite. She wants to see unity and Caribbean leaders speaking one language, so that they can come together and grow their country. Because I believe the biggest problem that us black leaders, as black people, we are having, it is unity. The Western countries, they don't want to see us black people uniting, and because they know that black people, they are not uniting, they can start do anything they feel like. And Mia Mottley, she's calling all Caribbean leaders to wake up and unite. And also, she's telling them that if right now it is to do business, we need also to do business with African countries. We need to do business with other countries apart from the Western countries, because they right now they have seen what it is happening in the Western country. This Western country is the same country that they are deporting illegal people from their country. This Western country is the same country which it has come and cut some of the funding, some of the aid to the black countries. Right now you can see they have introduced a new trading tariff to all countries. This tariff that Donald Trump has come out and introduced, it is not going to affect Jamaican alone. It is going to affect all countries. Yeah, it is going to affect all Caribbean countries and African countries, because United States being the superpower country, being the country that people know as is the superpower country, it has now come out and see like this world, the other countries that are depending so much the United States. So for them doing all this thing, what is happening, it is just to send a lesson to these other countries, to telling them that there will be a time whereby United States will not be this first world country, it will not be the superpower country. So you need also to take care of your country. So kindly guys, I don't want to talk too much. Subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you in my next one. Bye bye.